Hi, I'm Jennifer, and welcome to the Haunted Hour. Tonight, we're diving into a place darker than any haunted house. The depths of the dark web. It's a world hidden beneath the surface where unspeakable things happen, and some sites should never be clicked. These aren't just stories. They're warnings, coded pages, disappearing users, live streams that no one should ever watch. If you've ever been curious about the dark web, this might make you think twice. Let's begin, but remember, once you enter, there's no guarantee you'll come back. Also, subscribe if you're new here. Part 1. The Invitation. I always thought the horror stories about the dark web were fake. You know, internet myths designed to freak out kids on Reddit, or add flair to creepypastas. I used to laugh at how people genuinely believed in red rooms, human experiments, or they watched me through my webcam stories. It all sounded like digital campfire tales. But looking back, maybe it was that arrogance, thinking I was smarter than the story, that opened the door. I wasn't hunting for horror that night, just wasting time on Reddit like always. It was a Friday, and I was halfway through a thread titled Creepiest Things You've Seen on the Deep Web. Classic clickbait, right? Then I saw a comment that didn't fit. It wasn't a story. It was a warning. If you ever get an email with a link to something called Only in the Dark, don't open it. Don't click it. Don't even read it. Delete it and walk away. They're real, and they'll find you. I smirked. Okay, that's creative. But the timing was off, way too off. Because not an hour later, I got an email with no sender, no subject, and just one attachment. Do you understand or something texty? I thought maybe it was a coincidence. Or one of those phishing scams you delete without thinking. But this, it felt intentional. The message had no body. Just the file. My mouse hovered over it for a good minute. And then, like an idiot trying to prove horror stories wrong, I opened it. That moment, that single click, it split my life into before and after. Inside the file was a single Tor link. No context, no text. Just the address. My heart jumped when I saw the site name. Only in the Dark. It wasn't fake. It matched the comment exactly. I should have closed everything. I should have deleted the file. But something deep and sick inside me wanted to know. I downloaded Tor. My hands shook as I pasted the link into the browser. The page loaded in pieces. First darkness, then soft typing sounds. Then a line of text blinked across the screen. Welcome, observer. You are not alone. I stared, frozen. Was it a game? A live server chat? An ARG? Then the webcam light on my laptop blinked. On for a second, then off. I stopped breathing. It was like someone had just peeked into my soul and shut the door again. I slapped a sticky note over the camera, heart pounding in my ears. Then 3 words appeared on the screen. Watch. Request. Prove. No explanation. Just those. I clicked watch because it was the least threatening. The screen flickered, and I started seeing what looked like basic surveillance footage. Then I saw something that made my mouth go dry. The hallway in the video, it was my hallway. My apartment building. Same wallpaper. Same cracks. Then it zoomed on a door. My door. Apartment 304. A man appeared, walking toward it slowly. His face was blurred, but his movements were real. Measured. Calculated. He pulled out a key. My key. And he let himself inside. My stomach flipped. I looked toward my own front door, half expecting to see the knob turning. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The screen switched again. Now, the footage was inside my apartment. The angle was from the ceiling corner, like a mounted camera I didn't know existed. I watched as the man wandered around, touching my things, studying the room. Then he looked straight into the hidden camera and smiled. Not a normal smile, a wide, sharp, broken thing, like his skin was stretching wrong. Then he whispered, "He's watching now." And that was when I slammed my laptop shut. But the audio kept playing. Somehow, through the speakers, I heard static, then a voice. Breathy. Close. "Don't stop now." I yanked the power cord, yanked the battery. Silence. But the silence felt worse. It felt like something had been invited in, and now it was just waiting. That night, I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every creak of the floor sounded like footsteps. I kept looking at the corners of my room, expecting someone to be standing there, smiling. The next morning, I called my friend Aaron. He was a cybersecurity geek, and the only person I trusted with something this insane. He came over, scanned my laptop, and his face turned cold. "You've been infected with a RAT," he said. "A remote access Trojan." Someone had full access to my device, and worse, they were streaming from multiple cameras I didn't even know were there. He pointed at one file. "This feed comes from above your bookshelf," he said. I climbed up, checked behind the vent, and found a micro camera. Dusty, old, watching, recording. How long had it been there? My stomach sank. Was this a game someone was playing for years? Was I chosen? That evening, another email arrived. No message, just an audio file. I played it. It was the sound of me brushing my teeth, water running, breathing, then another breath, not mine, slow and crackling, just outside the bathroom. At the end, a low whisper, "Prove yourself." A second link was attached. Against all reason, I clicked it. The screen lit up with a live stream. A man, tied to a chair in a basement, his face bagged. Under the video were 4 buttons. Cut, burn, break, free. My hands hovered over the mouse, trembling. I didn't click. I couldn't. I slammed the tab shut. A minute later, a new message arrived. Bad choice. The next morning, a package was on my doorstep. No name, no return address. Inside, a Polaroid photo of me sleeping, a pair of rusted scissors, and a note, "You don't get to stop watching." I packed a bag and left. I deleted everything, burned the laptop, got a burner phone, moved 2 states over, changed my name. For months, there was silence. I started to believe I had escaped. But then, at a grocery store in my new city, I felt someone watching. That night, another email came. A video of me shopping. That day, the camera following me through every aisle. And that's when I knew they never stop watching. Because the website doesn't just infect your computer. It marks you. It finds the curious. And once you see them, they make sure you never unsee. Part 2, the game begins. For the first few weeks after I moved, I lived like a fugitive. Motel to motel. No credit cards, no internet. I barely even used my phone. Paranoia sat in my chest like a second heartbeat, pulsing louder whenever someone stood too close or looked at me for a second too long. I stopped sleeping. Every shadow stretched too long. Every sound had weight. But then silence. No messages. No packages. No signs. Part of me began to believe it was over, that my retreat had worked. Until I made my first mistake. It was a random Tuesday night. I was in another new city, another rental apartment. I hadn't spoken to anyone in days. The loneliness got to me. I went to a quiet corner of a library and logged into Reddit with a throwaway account, just to browse. Not post, not comment, just feel normal for 5 minutes. My laptop was clean, disconnected from anything I'd used before. I didn't even use Wi-Fi. I tethered through a prepaid hotspot. No connections, no links. But as I refreshed a thread about urban legends, one post shot to the top with no upvotes. Just the title, "We See You, Observer." I slammed the laptop shut. I hadn't typed. I hadn't posted. I had taken every precaution. But they knew. They knew. I left the library immediately, walking fast, barely breathing. When I got back to my apartment, I saw it. Wedged into the doorframe. A black envelope. Inside, another Polaroid. Me, sitting in the library. Same hoodie. Same laptop. The photo had been taken just minutes earlier. The message scrawled on the back read, "Nice try. Let's keep going." I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I sat in the bathtub, door locked, knife in hand, shaking. At 3:12 a.m., a new text appeared on my burner phone. Unknown number. No area code. The game is still on, Observer. Attached was a video file. I shouldn't have watched it, but I did. It was another man, tied to a chair. Same basement, but this time, no bag over his head. I recognized him. It was Darren, my tech-savvy friend, who had helped me find the camera. His face was bruised. He was crying. Behind him, a voice whispered, "Tell him what happens when you cheat." Darren looked into the camera, lips trembling, and said, "You made them notice me. Now, they'll never stop." And then the video ended with a scream. Short, final. The phone buzzed again. "Prove yourself or someone else dies." Then the site opened by itself. I swear I didn't click anything. But there it was. Only in the dark. Just 3 options again. Watch. Request. Prove. This time, I clicked request. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I could negotiate. Maybe I thought I could ask them to stop. The screen went black. Then a prompt. Name someone you love. I backed out. Closed everything. Turned off the phone. I knew what that meant. And I wasn't going to offer anyone. But the next day, a second package arrived. Inside, a flash drive. When I plugged it into a freshly bought laptop, the folder contained every text I'd ever sent. Every photo. Every email. Even old ones I had deleted years ago. They had everything. I scrolled through file after file, panicking. Then I saw a video titled, "If you won't play, we will." I opened it. It was live footage of my sister's front porch. She was on the phone, pacing, oblivious to the shadow standing at the edge of her lawn, watching, not moving, just waiting. My phone buzzed again. "Prove yourself, or she will." I drove 8 hours to get to her. I didn't stop once. When I got there, I couldn't explain anything. Just told her to pack and stay with friends. She laughed it off until I showed her the video. Then she stopped laughing. She moved out the next day. But I knew it wasn't enough. You don't escape them. You just delay the consequences. And it didn't take long for the next message to come. This time they sent me a name. A man I didn't know. With an address. Attached were 4 files. Photos of him at work, walking his dog, reading to his kid. The message simply said, "It's him or you." I broke. I didn't want to, but I broke. I watched the feed. I didn't click anything, but I watched. The man was taken that night. I don't know what they did to him. I don't want to know. But the next morning I woke up to a message. "Thank you for proving yourself. You may continue watching." That's when I realized Only in the dark isn't a site. It's not a service. It's a machine. And once you enter, you become a cog in it. You choose to feed it or let it eat you. And the worst part, it's not random. The people they show you, they aren't strangers. Not for long. They make them matter. They make you care. Then they test how far you'll go to save them. Or destroy them. Now I'm deeper than I ever wanted to be. They call me observer. But I know that's just their label for cowards who couldn't walk away. I hear whispers at night. I see shadows that flicker wrong. Sometimes I get messages telling me to prove myself again. And sometimes I don't. That's the worst part. The silence. Because you never know when the next choice will come. Or who it will cost. All I know now is this. I should have never opened that file. I should have never clicked the link. And if you ever see a message about only in the dark, don't be curious. Don't be brave. Be gone. Part 3. The Final Descent. The third message came on a day. I tried pretending everything was normal. I was sitting in a library, surrounded by the scent of dusty pages and old wood, when a text popped up on my burner phone. You're ready. Enter the terminal. Attached was a new link, no onion address, just a clean .html that shouldn't exist on any normal server. Against my will, my thumb clicked it. My screen flickered and displayed a black background, with a loading bar pulsing red. Then the words, Final Test, No Escape. Around me, the library lights dimmed. My laptop, which had been off in my bag, powered on by itself. The speakers whispered, Welcome, observer. We've been watching. The terminal wasn't a site. It was a simulation. Or a trap. I don't even know anymore. My screen showed me sitting in the library. Real-time feed, but from above. I looked up, nothing there. Then I saw them. One by one. Every person in the library froze. Completely still. Not blinking. Not breathing. I whispered hello, no response. Then they turned to face me in perfect sync. Eyes glowing white. The laptop buzzed and new text appeared. You failed to prove. You failed to choose. There's only one path left. I bolted. The front door wouldn't open. The emergency exit was jammed. The people, or whatever they were, began walking toward me. One by one. Silent. Mechanical. The laptop kept playing audio. My own breathing looped over screams that weren't mine. I yanked the power cord and it kept running. I smashed it against the table. Still it whispered, Only in the dark, only in the dark. I dove through a window to escape, glass cutting deep into my arms. As I limped into the street, I looked back. The library was completely dark and empty. Like nothing had ever happened inside. I made it to my motel, bleeding, panicked, half believing I'd gone insane. But they were already there. The bathroom mirror had new writing in condensation. Observer, you're ready. I collapsed on the floor, heart racing. I tried to call someone, anyone, but the screen just blinked red and black. Then the walls began shifting, peeling away like skin. Beneath the wallpaper were screens. Every wall, every surface, all playing different videos. All of me, eating, sleeping, crying, running. They had been watching since before I found the site. The final test came not with a warning, but a choice. The screens went black, and then a single video played. A small room, a man bound to a chair. Blood dripping from his nose. He raised his head. It was my father, or someone wearing his face. The audio clicked on. Choose. Save him, or save yourself. Two buttons appeared on the mirror in glowing green text. Save or leave. My finger hovered. Was this real? Was any of it? I screamed into the darkness, demanding to speak to whoever was doing this. A new voice answered. Come, robotic. We are the architects, and we never needed your choice. Only your fear. I slammed my fist into the mirror. It didn't crack. Instead, my reflection blinked and stepped away from me. My reflection detached itself. It stood in the mirror, staring at me like a twin, identical but wrong. It smiled. You watched. You judged. Now be judged. The lights went out. I felt something wrap around my neck, cold and invisible. A force pulled me backwards, into the wall, through the screen. I fell through static, screaming, until I landed on a cold metal floor. Around me, cameras, lights, and a crowd. They applauded. I was in their world now. A studio of sorts, but made entirely from black glass and flickering monitors. The crowd wasn't human. Their eyes glowed white, their faces featureless. They chanted, "Prove, prove, prove." The architect stood before me, tall, thin, no face, just static flickering under a hood. He offered me a knife and pointed to a door. Behind it is a child, innocent, unknown. Kill and you're free. Deny and you stay. I wept. I begged. But nothing changed. I opened the door. Inside was me, at 10 years old, sitting and coloring, smiling. I backed away in horror. The architect whispered, "Fear is the truest mirror. Only in the dark will you see yourself." The child version of me turned and looked up, tears in his eyes. I dropped the knife. The room burst into red sirens. The walls cracked. Reality splintered. I had failed their final test. Or maybe passed in a different way. I wasn't sure. I was sucked backwards into the void. The last thing I heard was applause and a whisper, "You are now one of us." When I woke up, I was back in my apartment. Or it looked like my apartment, but everything fell off. The clocks didn't move. My reflection blinked when I didn't. My laptop was open, a live stream playing, but it wasn't showing me. It was showing someone else, sitting where I sat, watching what I watched. The stream title said, "New observer selected." And that's when I realized I had become part of it, a cog in the machine. My role was to watch now, just like someone had watched me. I can't warn you any more than this, because if you're seeing this story, the site has already marked you. You think you're just reading, but your camera is already on. Your screen already glows a little too bright. Your reflection may not be yours anymore. And late one night, you'll get the message, "Welcome, observer." And then you'll know, only in the dark can they truly find you.